Hello, my name is Sherry Harlan. I'm program host for Reid Beside You. And today our guest is Mary Smith, and she is with Reid Pediatric and Internal Medicine. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
And Mary, you have been with Reid for a while. How long have you been with Reid?
Well, actually, I've been with Reid for several years. First, when I came to Richmond as a new graduate from nursing school, I worked at the old Reid for about a year and a half. And then one of the pediatricians recruited me to come work in his office. And I did that for several years. And about 10 years ago, the Pediatric Center became a part of Reid Health, Reid Physician Associates.
So I'm sure a lot of our viewers will recognize your face as they have visited the pediatrics area. How did you get into the pediatrics area?
Well, actually, it was not my interest when I was in school, but that happened to be my first position. Okay. And it's remained my position, so I've just enjoyed that area.
So they were very fortunate that that was your first area and that you stayed. So today we're going to discuss about with the holidays coming up and people are buying gifts. Some of the things for parents to look for when they're buying toys. And so what would you suggest? What are some of the suggestions that you see or some of the challenges when people purchase toys that you see, especially around young children?
Well, I think one of the things that parents need to be very aware of is that they buy age-appropriate toys for the children. And they want them to be safe as well as age-appropriate. Most injuries from toys are bruises, sometimes cuts, scrapes, and toys can cause serious injuries as well.
And let's to help our audience understand, when we're saying age-appropriate, often I think parents are so excited, as well as relatives, that they see something that's advertised on TV and then want to get their child that particular toy, and it might not be age appropriate. So often on a lot of toys it's marked good for ages 1 to 3 or 5 to 7 or something like that. And can you explain more on that area?
Yes. The most toys that you see in the store are labeled, and those are usually safer if they are for a particular age group. They may not have loose parts, if they're for infants, that sort of thing. Strings, ribbons on toys can be a health hazard. So, pay attention to the appropriateness.
So you really want to make sure that those toys are well made, correct?
Well made, that they don't have the loose parts, that they're durable, that they're washable. Those are all things that are important when you have young children.
And when you're saying also, what about action toys? It seems that often those are sometimes can be hazardous, actually.
Actually, they can be. Some of those action toys may have little batteries or magnets in them. And young children can actually manipulate those and take those apart and may swallow batteries or magnets, and those can be very dangerous as well.
And that's what, and because we have to remember, number one, children are very curious, they're resilient, and their curiosity, they can find things to open when adults can't.
Exactly.
So that
yes.
can lead to trouble, or they can digest something, or
Yes.
things that you thought was safe can often turn into a problem.
Yes, it certainly can.
And also, I know that there is with the different child safety rulings from the federal government, and it's also good to look at child protection for the safety of different toys. And
Yes.
every year I believe there's like the top 10 toys that they recommend or they evaluate.
Yes,
So
there
you would
is.
recommend that people look into that as well.
Yes, definitely. That can give you lots of clues whether a toy is safe or not.
The man, back on the with the age appropriateness, one of the things like, for example, that's back on the a stuffed animal per se. Often can give some examples with a stuffed animal, some things that people should look out for. Maybe if the eyes can come out, or
Little button eyes, that sort of thing. And some of the stuffed animals will have like sort of like beans of some sort or beads in the bottom of them, so they'll sit. The other thing that you need to be careful of is that you don't put crib toys in an infant's bed.
okay,
Because that can cause some issues if they were to get it close to their face or
if they
that sort
roll
of thing.
over, so they can actually suffocate them. Correct.
Yes, yes.
The and what about now? We see so much technology, and when people are buying the toys that require an addition to link in with a laptop or a tablet, or in some cases we start to see now parents try to soothe a crying child with technology, hand them their phone. What are we seeing? What are you seeing in cases like that?
Well, we need to have healthy digital media for children. And under the age of 2 years old, it should be very limited and educational. And 10 to 24 months, if you want to introduce digital media, again, it should be very limited. 2 to 5 year olds, it's recommended that they only have 1 hour of screen time a day.
Now that's pretty interesting to say from 2 to 5 year olds. I know. I think I've seen
Yes.
some 2 and 5 year olds that can teach a class, let alone only use it for 1 hour.
They can do much better than I do with digital media. And that media, again, should be nonviolent and it should be educational media.
Okay.
The other thing is to try to avoid overuse of digital media. A child is at risk at not enough sleep, delays in learning and their social skills, obesity, and sometimes behavior problems.
Just recently, I believe yesterday, the government came out with some newer guidelines with the children and play, and what they should be doing, just because of a lot of sedentary children is adding to the obesity problem. So that's very interesting that you're stating that, because it's a very prevalent problem.
Right, it is. Parents need to be monitoring what their children are using, and be present when your child is using digital media. Parents need to know what's going on.
And I was at a conference recently, and they were stating if just to make an look around and see how many times have you seen children who were crying, unruly, and the first thing the parent did was take out their phone and just hand it to the child. And it solved that immediate problem, but they don't necessarily, they haven't looked to see what the children are actually playing with, what they're looking at. So that's something when you said that the parents really need to monitor what that their child is playing with on their tablets and phones.
Right. And even with older children, a lot of times older children will go to their room. And if parents are not watching or monitoring what their children are doing, they have no way of knowing when they're in their bedroom with the door closed.
Correct.
What websites or that sort of thing.
And so in that case, there's so many different things that people can put on their computers to monitor what children, the sites they're visiting, what they're looking, as well as they can actually put on like how to monitor that screen time, how much time they're putting in.
Correct.
So that would be a very good addition.
Yes.
As well as should they be setting up the actual, I'm starting to see people have contracts for limiting the time for the rules of their phone and their tablets.
Yes. Parents need to be involved in what their children are doing.
Okay.
And if children are playing on their tablets, these are games and things that parents can also play along and know what parents are or what the children are doing.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for joining us today, Mary. And Mary, how can people get in contact with your office? And if they wanted to arrange appointments, we have the information on we'll have that information on our screen.
Yes.
And they can contact your office to set up an appointment.
Yes,
And
certainly can.
Thank you for joining us today, Mary Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what seems to be bothering you?
Hey Doc, I got a fever and chills. I really don't think I should be on the road.
Okay, I think that's something we can help you with.
Real-time care anywhere. Reid Health Now, right beside you.
Hi, how can I help you?
My daughter has a fever and she isn't feeling well.
Okay, let's get her feeling better.
Receive quality care within the comfort of your own home. Reid Health Now, right beside you.
Welcome back to Reid Beside You. Our next guests are some familiar faces from the Ginkgo Boutique at Reid Health. We have Miracle Baker and Doug Gabbert. Welcome, Miracle and Doug. As we're going to continue on, we discussed toy safety, and the Ginkgo Boutique has many options available for people to purchase toys. So, Miracle, I see that you've brought some toys with you, but what are some of the trendy products for Christmas this year?
So we have had our Christmas merchandise out for about a week and a half. We have been selling a ton of the Elf on the Shelf.
The most famous Elf on the Shelf.
Yes. That's a really big item. And then in general, for just general merchandise, we've been selling just a lot of Christmas merchandise. We have a lot of larger pieces, some 54-inch elves, if you're interested in some large elves. So a lot of those. We have the willow tree, the angel willow tree line, and there are several signature pieces and brand new pieces that carry ornaments and Tree Topper is just a really pretty, elegant angel line. We do really well with that. And then everybody is really doing their homes in the kind of farm fresh Joanna Gaines look.
Okay.
And so we carry a lot of home decor, and so people are really picking those items up to kind of add to their home decor. So we get a lot of new pieces and sell through a lot of them pretty quickly and just replace them with something new.
And I noticed, and I did notice the about 2 weeks ago when you were changing the displays,
Yep.
the elves from the shelf.
Yep.
So that always tells me it's holiday time.
It's time.
So we can get ready for that.
The elves will be returning. The elves, actually, the story behind the elf on the shelf, if you're not aware, the elves come back. So Santa doesn't have time to basically watch over all the boys and girls all the time. So he sends these scout elves to your homes, and they arrive the day after Thanksgiving. So when you wake up that morning, the elves will be in your house, and you cannot touch them because you'll steal their Christmas magic. So they are watching everything you do, and at night when you go to sleep, they fly back to the North Pole and they meet with Santa and tell Santa what their children have done that day, good or bad. And if you did touch your elf, Santa will know you've been naughty because you stole their Christmas magic and they couldn't return. And so on Christmas Day, Christmas morning, when Santa that night when Santa brings the gifts to your home, all the elves follow the sleigh and they go back to the North Pole.
Well, that's great. I never knew the history
Yep.
of Elf on the Shelf.
Each elf actually comes with a book, and it tells the story. So we carry both boy and girl elves, and in several different skin tones as well. And then in the back of the book, you can put your elf's name. So you name your elf, and then the day they joined your family.
Well, that's great. And I see today you brought a boy elf.
Yep. That is typically the one that sells, because if you have a boy and a girl in your home, most boys prefer the boy elf and the girl's okay with it. So we sell a lot of the boy. We do have a lot of accessories for them. They have several different clothing pieces. There's reindeer, there's a movie, and there's a Saint Bernard dog. So the company's really good about adding products every year to kind of keep the season going.
Well, that's great. And what I've seen at another thing is little people. So
Yes.
Doug, I wanted to get you in here.
Okay. Yeah, this is a little nativity scene we've sold for several years. It's kind of a cross between a nativity scene and a toy for little kids. And we've sold a lot of these over the years.
And as we were saying earlier, and it tells you that it's good for 1 to 5 year olds, and so that's age appropriate for that group.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And so it says what, it lights up and the music plays? So.
Yes, and then this piece does take batteries, but it requires a screw to put the batteries in and out, and it does play music and it lights up. My kids actually have this and they love it, so.
Great. And there's always our reliable books.
Yes, so we absolutely love this book. This is I Saw Santa in Indiana. So this is about Santa going on vacation, and he comes to Indiana. And the book tells a story all about traveling through famous landmarks and different places in Indiana. So it talks about the Children's Museum and the zoo and all the places that people from Indiana may know and be familiar with. So a really great book. We've already sold a lot of these.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
I'd like that. And here we have, let's see, Hovertech. Battle,
so
FX.
this is brand new. So this is for ages 8 and up is what the company recommends for this. Doug actually got to play this at the show when it was first released. So this company has done a really good job. This is basically every boy that's 8 years and older kind of put their 2 favorite things together. A drone with Nerf guns. So basically,
Wow.
this is one of the hover drones, and it flies in the air with a target, and then it's for 2 players, and then it's a contest to see who can shoot the drone down the quickest. And so obviously, just for safety, it talks a lot about, but we want to make sure that we're doing it in a safe area. But this has been really big this year. It's a really cool game for boys to play.
A drone and Nerf guns?
It's
Wow.
putting the 2 together.
And then we have the farming fun with the John Deere. And
Yes. So this is, we brought this out probably about 6 weeks ago, and we sold out really quick. This is for ages 12 months and up, so it's going to be good for boys and girls a year and older. And it has they're plastic little farming, and has the farmers and all the several different little vehicles that you can use to play farm with.
So that's great, with some very interesting and a big variety of lots of new toys.
Yep.
And great ideas. And so that's some of the new merchandise. And then at the Ginkgo Boutique, every month you usually have a special.
Right.
So what's the December special? Have we announced the December special?
So the December special is 20% off of all of our toys.
Wow.
So these toys will be 20% off all month. And yet, so we have, we offer a special every month, and we change it, and we kind of try to tie in what is going to be, people are going to be looking for that month.
It's always interesting. When I first came to Reid, and I did training at in another city, they were laughing at me because I'm sharing pictures of the hospital, as well as I kept talking about our wonderful gift shop. And it was actually I was in Detroit. They said, a gift shop? What's that? So it was, and so I always like to brag about all the variety that we have at our gift shop. The other thing is what people, the public doesn't know, and some people do, how important the volunteer staff is to the gift shop.
Yeah, so we have volunteers ages 14 to 84 right now. So we have a junior volunteer program, and those are high school students who come 2 hours at a time, different days of the week, and they come to volunteer, and it's great for them because they get some kind of work experience. They kind of get a feel for the hospital. A lot of those students would like to have nursing careers or things like that, so it's kind of gets their feet wet a little bit. Yep.
Yes.
And so then other volunteers range, our adult volunteers are 18, and then like I said, we have one she's in her 80s. So
Really?
Yep.
And it benefits the hospital that's part of my extension of your staff, correct?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And that some of those proceeds help initiatives with the hospital, correct?
Right. So 100% of the proceeds and the profit made in the gift shop is donated back to our foundation. And those that aren't aware what our foundation does, it supplies, the gift shop funds strictly go back into patient care needs.
Okay.
So our auxiliary, which is who owns our gift shop, they donate that money back into making sure patients have rides and different payment statuses, and the grand piano on the second floor. Those type of things are things that the proceeds go for.
So that's awesome, because as people could help out with the hospital by purchasing things through our
Absolutely.
gift shop.
Yes.
And you can see there's a wide variety of great toys. And not to mention, and being a clothes person, you have lots of neat clothing items as well. Yes. So that you're actually helping to help the Reid Foundation as they're shopping, as well as getting some very nice, safe toys for everyone. Then what do you see coming in the new year?
So we have some exciting news. In It'll be launching in mid to late January. We are going to have the gift shop online, and it's going to be in a couple phases. The first phase is going to be for patient gifts. So if a family member from out of state or out of town wants to send somebody that's in the hospital, they want to send flowers or balloons, they are going to be able to go online and make that purchase and do everything online, so that if they don't have time to make the call or try to call us during business hours, it's going to be really convenient. And if people still want to give us a call and do it over the phone, we're happy to do that. But it's just going to kind of open up a lot more opportunity for people to be able to do that. And once that launches and goes well, we plan to put some select items online that people can buy, because there's a lot of favorite things that people see that travel through our area, some candles and things like that we'll be able to ship.
And before we close, I just want to remind everyone that currently Miracle and Doug both do Facebook Live events that people could see and register to win.
Yes, we do.
So please make sure that you check on our Facebook page,
Yes,
to see the various specials that you have. And I want to thank Miracle and Doug for joining us today.
thank you.
And thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us at Reid Beside You.